As I said, the Super Bowl is this Sunday.
Yes.
And for the first time in history,
She finna
the
cry?
sitting president will be at the game. And it's already setting off controversies. Like after the NFL decided to edit their End Racism slogan in the end zone for Sunday's game, now it's going to read Choose Love.
Ain't nobody in the Super Bowl thinking about racism. As if Trump don't want to end racism in America. These people are so stupid. He want to take the sign down and choose unity and faith and love for all. He just... Think about this for a minute, y'all. I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say. If the messaging works, which one do you think is most applicable and most encompassing of what people should be behaving like? Choose love or end racism? Now let's look at what the media is saying about them removing end racism from the NFL end zone, which it should have never been there in the first place. Right here, you can see that there's a leftist comparison center right, and then a bias comparison, which I'm not going to read all that right now, but let's go down here to the left. When you look at the left and the way their framing is, NFL makes a weird play. NFL drops in racism from the Super Bowl field, bows to Trump's anti-DEI agenda. The way they're framing it is that this has everything to do with Trump. And then you look at the right, what is it? Just reporting the news. NFL to remove end racism message from the end zone. NFL to remove end racism from the end zone. NFL removes end racism. I mean, you look at the right, look at the left. Sensation on the left makes more sense on the right. And you can see right now we've got about 67 sources, most of which are in the center, and then the other majority is on the left. And this is why I really love Ground.News, because they explore and give you options to understand thoroughly what you are looking at when it comes to the information you're consuming. Who's doing the information? How many articles are out there? The biases, all of that comes into play. But I want to tell you guys about the blind spot. So all you got to do is look at this. This is from the left. The left is being blind spotted by this. Trump calls for review of all U.S. funding to NGOs. And then you go over here to the right, only the left is reporting on this. South Carolina sets next execution date as inmate questions lethal injection doses. Go down here, Betsy DeVos, shut down the Department of Education. The left is not even talking about this. And then when you go here, the right is not talking about this. Trump administration withdraws support for transgender minors in Tennessee case at the Supreme Court. So make sure that you're informed on both sides. I don't care if you're left. I don't care if you're right, although most people lean right. You just need to make sure you're informed. And also, I'll say this. If you are on the right, you still need to know what the left is doing. The right hand got to know what the left hand is doing for you to be most informed. Subscribe through my link at ground.news/Tatum or download the mobile app and use offer code Tatum for 40% off the Vantage plan, the same plan that I use for unlimited access. Now let's get to the view. Y'all know I've been waiting on this the whole show. Nick said you're going to enjoy this. And he know I'm about to have a stroke every time I listen to these cackling hens just say the dumbest things in the world. Now, let me say this before we start. If you were wondering, I would argue, let me not say that. Let me leave that alone. Just roll the clip.
As I said, the Super Bowl is this Sunday.
Yes.
And for the first time in history,
She finna
the
cry?
sitting president will be at the game. And it's already setting off controversies. Like after the NFL decided to edit their End Racism slogan in the end zone for Sunday's game, now it's going to read Choose Love. The NFL says it has nothing to do with the new president attending. What do you think of this rewrite?
I think this a little fishy and shady because what the NFL spokesperson said, he said the decision was based on sensitivity to recent tragedies, including the terrorist attack in New Orleans, the deadly wildfires in LA, and the fatal air collision near DC. And I think that those are very noble things to honor and discuss. But I don't know how Choose Love, and It Takes All of Us, relates to that. So it seems to me like the end racism probably has a lot to do with the fact that the sitting president is there. And I don't know what everyone at this table thinks, but I don't think racism is over. And I think that it is a very noble thing to want to end racism so that we can become a more perfect union.
But I would note, Roger Goodell actually came out and said that he wasn't going to be ending DEI after a lot of major companies in America were saying that they were going to roll back some DEI. Roger Goodell, the chairman of the NFL, said that I had to double check that. Said that he wouldn't be. So because of that,
Stop. Two things here. First and foremost, choosing love and unity is incredibly more important and totally relevant to all the things that go on in our society. Second of all, ending racism in a Super Bowl where both of the quarterbacks and both of the running backs and majority of the players playing on the field, think about how stupid this is. We want to tout end racism when both of the quarterbacks that's playing in the thing are both black, the running backs are black, all of the top wide receivers are black, everybody in the stands are white, and the coaches are white. So all the millionaire players playing on the team that everybody came to watch are mostly black, and the coaches are coaching black guys, and the players are responding to the white coaches, and the people in the stands are majority white, cheering on black people that's making top 1% earners. That's the racism has ended. Ain't nobody in the Super Bowl thinking about racism. As if Trump don't want to end racism in America. These people are so stupid. He want to take the sign down and choose unity and faith and love for all. Dang, these people are stupid. And then she's stupider than stupid. Roger Goodell said he's not going to end DEI. So there's DEI in the NFL. You a lie. You a MF lie. Ain't no DEI in the NFL. If that was the case, they'd be putting more white boys in the NFL. It's majority black, and the country ain't majority black. So let's make it equity, inclusion, and delusion. Put some women in the NFL. Put some drags in the NFL. And make sure you put more white people in the NFL, and Asians, and Mexicans. If you sense diversity, inclusion, and delusion, shut the front door, man. That team gonna be full of black people as long as they performing. Anyway, roll the clip.
Not sure that I would be able to assign motive that this is some kind of a change to appease Donald Trump because he's not in the actual action of the policy. I kind of saw it as maybe more all-encompassing of a number of tragedies and hardships that the country's dealing with. It's been a brutal month. Think of everything that's happened. I hate to say this, I was thinking, oh yes, it's in New Orleans. It was just a month ago there was this massive terrorist attack. I'm gonna not jump to the decision there that it may have been to try to appease him. I will say this, I generally don't like hashtag activism because I think that it could become a lazy way to not actually engage in the space. That said, I would question myself on that because I try to wear the hostage pin every day. This isn't freeing the hostages, but it's a little thing that means so much to the community it represents. So on that side, I do understand why people would like to see it there, but hopefully this represents all of those issues.
How long has End Racism been in the end zone?
2021.
Since
4 years.
Okay,
Probably
this-
after George Floyd.
This speaks more to my lack of watching the actual game and focusing on eating the food, watching the commercials, and the halftime show. But I just learned about this End Racism when the topic was brought to me. So I was like, does everyone know about it? I think if you're going to take something that important away, you don't put anything there. If you're saying we're going to take that away, because it creates a false equivalent and minimizes the importance of the original message.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, think about this for a minute. Hold on. Think about this. How many redneck racists or black thug racists are out there saying, you know what? When I was betting on that Super Bowl game and I was waiting for my guy to get his points in the end zone and I saw end racism, you know what? I decided I wasn't going to hate white people no more. The guy in the cornfield somewhere saying the N-word every 5 minutes and he hate every black man that he's ever seen. He even hate his hair because it's black. He hate the tires on the tractor because it's black. That man ain't looking at no NFL and saying, you know what? I think I can let these still live around me because I see that sign there in the back of that end zone. Ain't nobody doing that. If you racist, you racist. They don't care. And I think it's so rare today that people are racist anyway, man. You ain't gonna never get nowhere being a racist. Not unless you live in a small town with none but whites, or you live in a small town, none but blacks, or none but Mexicans, or none but Asians. Maybe you can get away with being racist. But if you out in the real world, nobody want to be around you. You're not gonna get it. You're gonna be mad every day. There's nothing but diversity all over the United States of America. Every time you turn the TV on, whatever. That's how we've been for I don't know how many decades. But a little sign in the end zone ain't gonna stop somebody from being racist. And if it could, then you could put in the end zone, stop having kids out of wedlock. Y'all should be putting stuff all over the end zone. Stop having kids out of wedlock. What else y'all want to say? Stop unaliving the unborn. If they want to vote for Kamala Harris, if those slogans work, then put your messages in the end zone all the time and maybe people react to it. Don't go to a school with an AR-15. They put that in the back of and that kid that got everything to lose or nothing to lose, go to a school, and on his way to the school, he looked at the NFL end zone and said, you know what, I shouldn't go do this because the NFL said that I shouldn't do this. Y'all stop. What it is ignorant black people or dumb liberal white people trying to virtue signal. I'm virtuous because I got the sign that say end racism. Why you ending racism while being racism? Or being racist. It actually makes no sense. Is that the end of the clip? Oh, we got 2 more minutes. Come on, roll it.
Look, I think given what's going on in this country, anytime we can read the words and say the words end racism, we should. Because right now, as we speak, Latino immigrants are being terrorized and everybody's being treated and seen as if we were criminals and rapists. DEI programs are being rolled back, not just in the federal government, but corporations are taking their lead from Donald Trump, and they are ending those programs. Clubs for LGBTQ, for Latinos, for African Americans in schools like West Point are being taken away. So let's, each of us, take the message of end racism and internalize it and channel it, and let us go out there and end racism and fight against racism and speak up against racism.
Now, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I have a funny feeling that the choose love that they've put in now is a message to all the folks who don't think they're loved, who don't think anybody's paying attention. I think it's because as crazy as the NFL is, sometimes they are very subtle in the stuff that they do. And I think
that's a different take.
And I've been thinking about it during the course of the day because why that phrase? Why choose love? You know,
Especially when the transgender community is
Yes.
under attack by the
So-
administration.
So, and especially since last year's Super Bowl ran all those horrific ads
Yes.
and all those lies about people, and people believed it.
Yeah.
So maybe this is their way
The subtle messaging of
saying, listen, we might have made a mistake. And it's not them because they're not choosing what
The
commercials
advertisers.
you buy the time and you can put anything up there. But maybe that's what it is. I'm gonna
choose positivity.
choose both. I'm gonna choose both.
Can we get back to this real quick? Just think about this. Think about this for a minute, y'all. I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say. If the messaging works, which one do you think is most applicable and most encompassing of what people should be behaving like? Choose love or end racism? If you end racism, that don't mean you end transphobia or homophobia or whatever they call it. That don't mean you end all that other stuff. Racism ain't the only thing that's plaguing us. That don't mean you're gonna stop being a murderer or a hater or a thug or none of that other stuff by ending racism. Choosing love means that if you are a racist, you choose to love your neighbor. That's more powerful than saying end racism. Is if you choose love, that's in every aspect of your life. That's the better message. But to them, being woke and racism is the more virtuous thing or the most politically correct thing to say if you're a liberal, but not anything in reality. Love covers everything. Every aspect is love. Your wife, when you're tired of her, love. Your kids, when they get on your nerves, want to throw one of them out the window. Love covers that. When your brother offends you, somebody steal from you, the way you work that through, like God told us to do, is love thy neighbor. That's the most encompassing message, not end racism. I think more people in this country need love versus whether we worry about racism. Most people are not racist. Most people just sick of your stuff. You know, people treat me certain ways sometimes, man. I don't think it's because I'm black, man. I mean, they ain't come out and say I'm black. And to be honest, even if they did, who cares? Oh, you're gonna hurt me because you don't like black people. What, like, okay, it's one person out of 40 million people. Yeah, anyway.